Okay, so here we are at the start of episode 3. We're watching the first layer go down. We've got the support heater. Turns out that's really only needed for the very beginning. Once the print is underway with the hood down, the hot end generates enough heat to keep the area sufficiently warm. So for this is the section of the third part that we're going to print now. I don't know if you can see the numbers, but it's the same sort of numbers that we had. Yeah, right? So that the thickness of the part that fits into the slot has got to be 0.48 of an inch, while the gap has to be 0.51 in order for the parts to slide, yet not have too much slop. I explained that very poorly the last time. So let's move on over to this again, because I wanted to show you something a little different about this. And that's the info pane about this. Hopefully that'll settle down and freeze frame enough for you to be able to see it and read it. The angles, of course, are all cattywampus, but so's this entire project. So I'm going to make sure that the first layer is going down nice, and I'm going to put, now let's move over the point of view. Actually, I'm going to need a slightly different angle, but once I'm happy that these things are going down suitably well, we're going to set this up for a time lapse. And we'll see at what time, now that I've got a clock to include in this video, we'll see at what point it craps out. We'll see how much of a thing we get. Okay, maybe enough to test all three parts together. That'll be interesting. This and getting this thing ready to do this well involved some major cleaning. You can find tutorials on the XYZ website that take you through all these steps, step by step. And I would say, let's get a little better angle on this. I would say that these layers are going down pretty well. And if the rest of the print behaves this well, we may have something. Well, let's find out. Next thing you'll see, of course, will be the frenetic time lapse. So this print has also failed, actually multiple failures. You can see on this edge where this is the edge that is facing the print bed, and the adhesion layer I used blue masking tape peeled up, and that gives us this curve. Also, it failed again about 50% of the way through the print, although this time it does have the actual honeycomb, and that is actually quite more robust than the rectilinear type. Although it is thicker than I thought it would come out from the specs I thought I'd set. But again, you know, I'm mostly flying blind. I'm quite a greenhorn in this regard. Now you can see some of the other features of this part. This is called a rail. This opening here is called a clamp window. Object is to clamp objects to the top of a multiple progression of rails to create a virtual surface. And if you can either clamp the clamp through here, or you can actually bolt an item to the top surface of the Eli table with a bolt that passes through here, and you then make a nut there. Keep in mind that this is 2/3 scale. Now, This sorry chronicle of failures is not quite as dreadful as it might seem. There is a happy ending. Despite the failures at this end, this profile is accurate. And so I'm able to test fit the different parts, the way the joints function with each other, fairly reliably. To give you an idea what we're talking about, this face of this part would mate with this face of this part, not with the underside, but this is the completed profile for this part, and this is the completed profile for this part, and they slide together quite nicely. Let me pin that up for the time being. You like these lovely wedges? I created these from laundry parts made in the mysterious East. But this is how this joint would fit together. The part that's missing, that didn't get printed in here, would bear against this face of this part, the same way that this face of this part bears against this. And it's easy to slide in, because if you look in here, you see that there's, space, because this is the 51-inch dimension, and this is the 48th of an inch dimension. But once it's engaged, it's quite rigid. It doesn't want to rotate this way, or, since it's bearing against this surface, doesn't rotate this way either. So that's fairly rigid. It slides on easily and is quite rigid. And now to test the fit of this beam with the leg. So again, this is the bearing surface for the leg. Oops. And this would be the mating bearing surface for the beam, and they would fit together this way. And again, you see they find each other and slide quite easily. But if the parts are fully developed, I'll get some more of my mysterious Eastern wedges in place. So again, once the parts are fully meshed, there's no room for the joint to torque this way or this way. So while it would have been really nice to have fully realized parts for people to play with as I try and explain this to folks, this is at least a learning experience. I've found out what I wanted to find out, although I don't have the finished toys that I was hoping to have. Now, the question of whether these failures are a result of lapses in my skill set or issues with the printer, is probably a little bit of both, although I'm willing to accept most of the blame. As I've previously stated, I'm not a 3D printing maven by any stretch of the imagination. So thanks for watching. I hope that, at least in some small measure, this has paid forward the debt I incurred by watching YouTube videos from the real masters of 3D printing that have brought me this far. If anyone has any suggestions or ideas as to why I'm experiencing the failures I am, or any thoughts as to how I might go forward, please put that down in the comments below. And again, thanks for watching.